Hey guys.
Hey everybody.
Hello. Welcome to Happywax TV, and let's talk horror. Axemaster.
Thank you. Dr. Professor and Tom Mysterio.
Yes, and me.
The illustrious Happywax.
And let's get a toast out of the way right now to number 7.
Number 7.
Because I've been waiting all week
7.
to do this one.
Number 7.
7th heaven.
Tonight we are talking the horror movies we hate the most. Hey, wake up.
Oh.
All right, I know what you're going to say already. I got it written down, but I'm not going to say it because I know you're all over that one. So
I've had 4 of these Zevias just to be able to stay awake to say the word.
Oh shit. So okay, yeah. So yeah, worst horror movie. So, I mean, who wants to go first?
How about the illustrious host?
You want me to go first?
Yeah, you always let us go first.
Yeah. Why don't you go first?
Well, all right. So when I did my movies I hate the most, what I did was I thought of movies that I had a huge build up for myself, excited for, and then when I saw them, they were shit. So that's kind of how I based my.
That's pretty logical.
Well, yeah, but some movies come out and you just see them and they're garbage, or the critics rag on them and you just generally hate them. But most of these movies, most of them, not all of them, but a few of them that I have on here are ones that I was really looking forward to, and then you're pumped, and then you're like, what the fuck did I just watch? So anyways, okay, so I'm going to start off with a brand new movie because I was so pumped for this because we waited so friggin' long for this movie to come out. Was Jeepers Creepers 3.
Oh god. Yeah.
Jesus Christ, was that horrible. I mean, the first movie could be considered a classic. I really think so. And then the second one I didn't care too much for. It was still pretty good, but I kind of got a little whatever. But when this third one came out, and what was it, like 10 years in between the second and the third one, and I was all pumped for it when they announced it, and it was kind of on again, off again, and then it was, I can't remember what the guy's name is, I could have looked it up, but the guy that played the Creeper, he was coming back, and De Salvia, he was coming back to direct it, and I thought, oh, this is going to be awesome. And we watched it, and it was fucking garbage. And it's on Netflix now, and every time I see it, I'm just like, what? No.
That's a perfect example of a trilogy that should have been one film. Because that first one was an instant classic.
Yeah.
After a long period dry spell of creature features, and it was just fucking perfect. Like it had everything, the mysterious, the 23 days, once every 23 years for 23 days. I mean, why the number 23?
Yeah.
It's an enigma. We don't know what this thing. We know it's kind of like a ghoul or some kind of a
Yeah. Well, that was the other thing too. I thought, okay, here we go with the third one. So they want to make it really good because people are expecting it to be good. So let's give like a little bit of background story on this thing and where it came from. Yeah. And they don't. They really don't. Like they talk about it and you get little subtle hints, but I want like the full fucking background on this guy and you get nothing. It's just the same as the second one, and it's just
it's still the same run too. It's still the same run of 23 years.
And it's actually even worse because they CGI'd in his wings. At least in the first two, it was fucking practical, you know what I mean? Those rings were actually on his back, but now they tried to CGI it in, and it was, I was like, fuck. Whatever. So, I mean, I could have went with some classics, but I had to get that one. There's 2 other ones that that are just driving me nuts, but this one was just eats at me. So.
Want me to go?
Take it away.
You can do it. We believe in you.
You can do it.
Ghost Lake. 2004.
Fuck. That was one of them.
Oh,
what is that?
It's I don't even know. You know why? Because I slept. It was my one defense mechanism to not have most of my brain cells eliminated by watching this film. And he wakes me up. He's like, hey, throws things at me or hits me with something. What are you doing?
Yeah. Oh no!
Or we wake each other up, but he purposely let me sleep through that one. It was just a ridiculous, stupid.
It was fucking terrible.
When
did that one come out? Let me see.
CGI ghosts, and it was 2004.
Was it?
2004. Yeah, it was a long time ago.
Jesus Christ!
That's one I haven't even heard of.
Oh
yeah.
God!
Keep
you
it
don't
that
even
way.
want to hear that about it. It was directed by a guy named Jay Waffle, Wolfel, something like that. Tatum Adair, Timothy Prindle. Gregory Lee something or other. I mean, people resigning under the "What horrible movie are you in now?"
Yeah.
Terrible. If you ever see that out there, don't even look at it.
It's so bad I don't even remember what it was about. I think I've pulled that movie out of. There's a couple of them. I know what you're going to say next, and there's a couple of them that I've just fucking pulled right out of my my mind, never to be thought of again, and that was one of them. What a fucking terrible movie that was. Ghost Lake. If you see it, just walk in the other direction.
Run the other direction, and have
Smash
some coffee
the TV.
because have some coffee because even looking at the cover will put you to fucking sleep.
Yeah. Oh fuck.
Brutal.
All right.
Well,
Dr. Mysterio.
I had a tough time with this because I'm a snob jerk, maybe, because I will shoot down movies and I will say I'm never gonna watch that bloody thing.
Mm-hmm.
And there are certain ones that I've caved and watched, and I was like, why did I not listen to myself and say I'm not gonna watch these again? So with that process, I end up not watching a lot of movies. I watch a lot of movies, but I end up turning down more movies than I watch because time's precious. You can only spend so much time watching good things, right? Like there's definite purpose for watching bad movies, right? To know.
Yep.
If you don't know what's bad, you don't know what's good. So you do have to sit through some of these, and like what my Happywax here was saying.
No, I know my name.
There are ones that you just want to you just want to like erase from your memory. So I had a hard time coming up with ones, but one that I know I truly did not like, and I hope it's a horror movie. It was a horrible movie, but it was Tusk. I watched it, and I actually made it through the movie. That's a good point. I'll give it a good point for that because I made it through the movie. But I didn't like the premise of the film.
Oh yeah.
And yeah, there's a humorous element of the whole Tusk thing.
Right.
If you haven't seen the movie, it's
It was pretty cheesy.
Look it up before you spend your time watching.
It's a Kevin Smith movie. He directed it.
So it had some really promising things. Like there was some Canadian content in there. There was something to do with someone was Canadiana. Or
Seemed to be sort of similar to Human Centipede.
yeah.
Same kind of sort of thing.
Kind of, sort of, yeah.
Yeah, but in the end, I didn't really see a huge point or a draw to the movie, which would make the whole thing make sense.
There's no point to the Tusk.
Yeah.
There's no point to the Tusk.
I'm not up to the Tusk.
See, the movie was probably as bad as that joke, so I'm just trying to get that across to the...
Actually, you topped the movie there.
Okay, there you go. See?
I think I made us watch that movie too. That was one of my suggestions on movie nights.
Yes, it was.
But it was a new release at the time.
Yeah.
Just like, ooh.
No Tusk for us.
But you have to have bad movies to enjoy the good ones.
Absolutely.
Yeah, what can you do?
Yep.
Tusk titty. Tusk titty.
Full of them tonight.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Oh, sorry. Oh, this is a bad movies episode. It's got bad jokes in it.
Yeah. All right, so on to my. Okay, am I going now or okay?
Yeah, yep.
So I got tons of them here, but okay. So my next movie that I was super psyched to see, and then it was fucking terrible, was Blair Witch 2.
Oh, you took one of mine.
Oh, did I?
Yeah,
I was on.
Okay, no. I'll tell you what.
That's okay. Go with it.
Do you want to go with that one?
No, you go ahead.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was fucking terrible. I was so because Blair Witch was like no other movie at the time when it came out, and it actually.
Yeah, it had that weird fucking name too.
Yeah, and it freaked me out in the theater, and not a lot of movies do that. And I was like, when this one came out in '99, or sorry, no, it didn't come out. It came out a couple years later. Blair Witch came out in '99, right? And then Blair Witch 2 came out. I think when did it come out? In 2000. So the next year. So they kind of were jumping all over the the phenomenon.
Was
that
it Book of Shadows? Or?
Yeah.
It
Book
was
of Crap.
Book
is
of
what,
Poop.
Oh man. Okay, so I mean there was nothing. Like they well what they basically did. This isn't the latest one. This is the second one, right? Because there's another one that came out just recently in the last couple of years, and it was okay, but this direct sequel to the first one was terrible. I mean the they used the characters in it from the first one because I think they were trying to go find them or something like that. It's kind of the same premise as the one that just came out, But I mean, it was all CGI, and it was horribly fucking edited, and it was terrible. So, I mean, I've been let down a few times at movies, but this one was definitely a big fucking letdown. So yeah, 2000 Book of Shadows, Blair Witch is fucking definitely forgettable for me. So sorry, I stole one of your.
Oh, it's all good.
All right.
Luckily, you and I and Dr. Professor have seen a lot of horror movies,
Mm-hmm.
so I'm going to go back to one that may bring up some old memories for you too. This is a flick that
I know what you're
we
gonna
stayed
say.
up till, as young men, we stayed up till, young men I say, guys that shouldn't have been up that late at this particular time. It was 1984. It was Brett Main's, 14th birthday party or something.
Yep.
And we stayed up till like 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning to watch a movie called The Prey.
The Prey. I knew you were gonna.
And the reason that I fucking put this in here, it was directed by Edwin Brown. It was it stars Debbie Thurston, Steve Bond, Laurie, residing under what other terrible freaking disappointments have you starred in lately? The reason I put it in here was I saw this a couple times mentioned that lately as a movie to watch from that era because it's a classic movie. Like I was like, "Are you fucking kidding me? That's The Prey!" Like, and they had it in a list of, and I was like, "It was terrible." It was like a wilderness movie, and the chick gets lost out there. A bunch of campers get lost. A typical freaking horror movie of the time, and something starts taking them out, and at the end, we sat there and we waited and we were just like. And none of us were even scared. Although, I think that night we drank, I think I drank an entire case of Dr. Pepper to stay awake. And, but it was the worst. It was like, even for us at that age, we were like, that was the stupidest ending because you hear a baby crying. At
That,
the end.
I think, that was supposed to be the shocking ending.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? With the baby crying
horrible.
at the end. And the only thing shocking about it was nothing. It was. And I didn't appreciate how much I hated that movie or thought it was shitty until you and I watched it. What did we watch it, like 4 or 5 years ago?
Yeah, we tried to watch
At
it.
your place. And then it just dawned on me again how terrible that movie was.
Actually really terrible, and we weren't wrong when we were 12 years old.
Yeah.
14 years old.
Yeah,
It's like,
so
what
stay
the
away
fuck?
from The Prey.
Don't do it. If you have to watch, you may find yourself praying in the fetal
Oh,
position.
God. It's
Oh, please let this end.
Please let it stop.
yeah.
Let it be over.
Well, I'm going to throw my hat into the arena of I'll probably get hated upon.
Uh-oh.
So I love doing this. It's so fun. I hated Saw. I hated Saw.
Wow.
I've seen one Saw movie. I will not see any other Saw movies because I sat through the thing and I went, what was the point of this whole thing? I'm not going to say it didn't have some... There was something to the movie. Obviously, they made like 100 of them on there, but I didn't buy it. I just didn't buy the premise.
Mm-hmm.
If I remember correctly, it was something like the guy that was making everybody go through these, sever this or kill this person or do whatever to save yourself. Had something to do with the protagonist having cancer or something like that. And I just went, wouldn't you have something better to do with your time? Then do that. But it was, if I remember correctly, it was like the director's first movie doing that, and he was in it or something. Or very, But I paid so very little attention to it that it was shockingly bad. Even when I watched it, I went in going, okay, I'll give it a chance. 'Cause I like to give things a chance, even though I've heard, I heard a lot of good things about it.
Yeah.
Actually, I heard mostly positive things.
Yeah. I enjoyed it.
Then I went into it and I was just like,
Yeah. See, this is great because we're all going to have different views on different movies, right? So I thought the ending of that movie was pretty cool, but hey, if you don't like it for whatever reason, it is what it is. I mean,
I didn't mind the first couple, but anytime it goes into like 9 movies, it just started getting stupid. Oh, Jigsaw loved this. Jigsaw left this freaking tape in his sock that was found here, and triggered this new
it's
thing.
too far fetched.
Yeah.
Like I can't suspend my disbelief that far.
Like the guy's been dead for like 14 years, and he's still triggering off this chain of events, But I mean,
It could be a clever device, though. Like honestly, and obviously somebody through on the cash train and
yeah,
and let that baby just keep rolling. But
Yep.
I'm not going to take away from the fact that it could have some of the premise. Could
Yeah,
be
because if we could make a really good horror movie and then make 11 mediocre horror movies and make all kinds of money, we would do it too. We don't have any frickin' morals or anything. We would do the exact same thing.
Yeah. No, of course I would. I'm all about making money. What the fuck.
So, but
Saw 25. I'd do it.
I put the axe to the saw.
directed by Happywax.
Fucking right, I'll do it.
Professor
I'll make this money back.
Mysterio and
Oh, okay. So many movies to choose from, but I have to go with this one just simply because this one fucking bugs me every time I see it on Channel 32 or any movie marathon, and it's ranked right up there with Rocky 5. Okay, is Jaws: The Revenge.
oh
Yes.
This is the fucking stupidest movie ever fucking made. I swear to God. Like there was absolutely no reason to make this movie at all. I saw it twice, and that's the only time when they do Jaws marathons. It's just my fucking luck too, because they'll start the marathon in the afternoon or in the morning, so and I'll get home at work around 5 or 6, and right around that time when I want to throw the TV on, it's just that's the time that this one comes on, the marathon. I'm like, fuck you guys. Do you know what I mean? Like,
is that the Mario Van Peebles?
yes.
one?
Oh my God.
it doesn't have Ellen Gary in it or whatever, does it?
Who?
Like
Lorraine.
Gary.
Yeah, she's in it. She's in it, and then so is Michael Caine.
Oh,
And
right.
then,
Okay,
but
yeah,
it's so fucking stupid. I don't want to talk about it, but I mean, you've all seen it, and it's just I had to put this in my list just because we went and saw Jaws, the classic, on
And it
Friday.
made you think of the unclassic.
Oh my God! Like, people can rip Jaws 3, and I actually thought it was okay. You know what I mean? Because it was 3D, and it came out right around that time where Friday the 13th was doing the 3D thing, and
everybody was doing 3D.
everybody was doing 3D, and it's a fun, campy, cheesy movie. They don't try and make it to be anything else. But then this one came out, and it's just a piece of shit. Like, it's horrible. Like, it's just. Anyways, I'm done.
Okay, so most of mine are older, but this one is more recent, anyways. I'm gonna go with The Thing, 2011. The I guess reboot, or not really a remake.
Something?
The prequel.
Or a prequel. It was a prequel. That's right.
It's a prequel that after the first 10 minutes looks exactly like the John
original.
Carpenter film.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, let's call it a prequel.
Yeah, it was directed by Matthijs van Heijnsen Jr., probably one of the guys from the Norwegian camp, obviously.
Yeah.
should have been fucking directed by Eddie Van Halen Jr., because he
Yeah.
probably would have been. I mean, maybe done a better thing. It had Mary Elizabeth Winstead in it, which really drove me up the wall, and it had Joel Edgerton in it, who's always a good actor, but. They did the same thing with this fucking movie that they did with the fucking Road Warrior. They fucking put a female into the main role because, of course, it's 2011 and we got to give the heroines a chance to fuck up a movie that was all about testosterone, all about fucking men. I'm sorry, but it was, okay? And then they put Joel Edgerton in there. Why? Because when he grows a beard, he's got an uncanny resemblance to a guy named Kurt Russell that just happened to be the guy that played McCready in the first fucking movie, or the one that we all love from 1982.
Yep.
So when I saw that, when we got to the movie theater, I got angry. And if you don't know me, sometimes I get fucking angry and irate. I just sat there and I fucking squeezed my popcorn. It just kind of fucking went all over. I fucking hated it. I hated fucking sitting through. It was the stupidest thing. I said after it was over, I said, why the fuck did we just go home and watch The Thing?
Yeah.
At least there wouldn't be a girl in it, which sounds completely misogynist, but it's ridiculous when they do that. It is. Like, they have to throw... I get it. We got to be inclusive.
That movie was a disappointment on so many levels.
Oh.
Because that was another movie, too, that I was pumped to go see, because they were advertising it as a prequel.
Yeah.
Not a remake or a reboot. It was advertised as a prequel. We were finally going to see, after all these years, what went on in the Norwegian camp.
Yeah.
It was the same, almost shot for shot in a lot of cases.
Yeah, and it was really cool the way they ended it.
Yeah.
Because it segued perfectly into
the ending
thing.
was the very, very ending was cool.
But
Yeah.
To me, the prequel didn't involve a fucking bunch of Americans going up there with the girl in tow and all this stuff to find out what happened.
Yeah.
I mean, the prequel would have been those guys, and all those guys having their little freak out.
I was all ready to watch a movie in subtitles.
Yeah, friggin' right.
That's what I wanted, and then also it was all CGI.
Oh,
it looked fucking
it
horrible.
was brutal. I totally forgot about that because I was
So
so mad about
yeah,
it.
like literally the first 10 minutes were great, and the very, very ending when they tied it into the John Carpenter one, but the ending where they fight the thing in the cave is fucking retarded.
Yeah, it was
like,
stupid.
It's so stupid. I don't care if I spoiler because you shouldn't watch that movie anyway.
Don't watch it.
I'm doing you a favor.
Oh,
So
I'd chalk up another one I haven't watched.
yeah, don't.
Oh, don't do it, man. It's brutal.
Yeah, you'll be pissed and you'll waste your money and because you'll destroy your
Might as
popcorn.
well just watch Furiosa Road.
Yeah.
It's good having these two guys as friends because I know lots of movies not to watch.
Yeah.
Yeah, because we torture ourselves and fucking watch it.
But you know what though? Because I mean, we're all. How old are you, Anthony?
44.
Okay, I'm 48. You're 48. So I mean, we've been watching movies since we were 10. So that's almost, 40 years.
Give or
Of
take.
watching. Yeah, give or take.
That's
watching.
as long as Siskel and Ebert were watching movies.
Yeah, so I mean, we've seen, and I don't watch TV. I mean, the majority of my viewing is movies, and a good chunk of them, I would probably say, at least 70% are horror movies. So I watch a lot of fucking movies, and there's a lot of bad fucking horror movies. It's just no getting around it, you know what I mean? Which makes the good ones even better, because you can appreciate them more. It's like, I just watched 20 shitty ones to get to this really good one, so I love this movie, and I'm going to go buy it, you know what I mean? But that's all I think anyways.
That's how the quest works, though.
Yeah.
You have to grind through all the garbage,
Oh,
and
yeah.
you find the.
Yep.
Then you find the one.
Bust a lot of coal to get to that diamond. So, okay.
Speaking of busting coal to
Uh-oh.
find a diamond,
Uh-oh.
definitely not finding any diamonds in this well-jeweled cast of schlup. Oh my god. When I was in high school, everybody loved all the books of Anne Rice.
Oh, okay.
And then
God.
this movie came out with Tom Cruise and Brad Pitt.
I know what you're going to say.
And
Yeah, that's what I thought you were gonna say.
yeah, Interview with the Vampire.
Oh,
Schlockadoo.
Yep.
Oh my god.
Tom Cruise.
This.
Please.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Aside from how it was acted, it was shot very beautifully. It's the concept, the transformation of the whole vampire into this really highly sexualized creature, romanticized, I suppose.
It was the beginning of fucking Twilight.
Yep.
Yep.
Which is the downfall of the vampire genre essentially, because once it turned into a romance novel, it was like you kind of really lost.
Well, that's probably why you had somebody that made 30 Days a Night. The anti-fucking Twilight / Interview with a Vampire.
Yeah.
But that I've gone through and I tortured myself with the next ones that they came out with, Vampire Lestat, terrible. Queen of the Damned, terrible.
That is a horrible fucking movie.
That whole thing, just the whole.
I couldn't watch those.
Yeah.
After I was like, no, I couldn't do it.
And I read the books. I'm gonna say I read the books, and then they were fine. Whatever. I read them on the bus going back and forth to school.
And those movies are why Stakeland and 30 Days a Night were like super fucking movies to watch, because like you almost dragged me into those ones. Like, oh yeah, I got this vampire movie called Stakeland.
Yeah.
Oh, all right, yeah, fine. And then it was like, holy fuck, that was really awesome. And then 30 Days a Night, of course. But I mean, they fucking those movies suck.
Those were that for me. That was a catalyst for the downfall of the vampire.
Vampires don't sparkle.
Yeah.
Sorry, but they don't.
Oh god.
Yeah, I saw that movie when I was in England. And
Did it have all British accents?
yeah, I wish. No, it was I didn't really hate it or dislike it, but it wasn't until
Did you watch it in Harry Potter's castle?
I did.
Jesus, onwards.
No, but I
Don't know
and
what
it's
that
not
is.
until you watch a movie again years later that you can really appreciate how shitty it is. It's just I don't know. It is a bad movie, and I'll be honest. I'm gonna get some hate here. I don't dislike Tom Cruise. I think I like some of the movies he's in. I don't hate the guy. I mean,
I like his movie Never mind.
I like Brad Pitt. I like Brad Pitt. I mean, he's got some bad movies, but he's got some really good ones. But I don't dislike Tom Cruise. I mean, a lot of his movies are corny and cheesy, and I don't watch. But there's some movies that he does that that Edge of Tomorrow. I don't know if you've seen it, but it's a fucking great movie where he keeps going back in time to get through the future. Like, it's a fucking awesome movie. So he has made, and Minority Report was pretty good. And he's made a few other ones that are good, but a lot of his movies.
Born on the 4th of July.
Yeah, I mean, he does have some good movies, but
he got shot in the dick in that.
Yeah,
one,
but I really didn't care for him. That was I think Interview with the Vampire was when they were going to take 3 hot at the time actors and actress. You know what I mean? Because even what's his name was in that movie too, Kirsten Dunst. But the what's the other vampire's name there? Fucking gonna forget his name now.
The old guy Marius.
No, he's the one that Brad Pitt fights in the, and he goes to see them at the play there. What the fuck is his name? Antonio Banderas. He had a good. I liked his character in it, so it did. For me, it had some good points, but yeah, the movie was really shit. And I think it was what it was getting at is when they think that they can take all the hot actors at the time and put them in one movie, and think it's just going to kill it. And I think it kind of worked against it. I like when they make movies like that, if they use the majority of nobodies or up-and-comers, seem to do better for me. So, but yeah, I'd have to agree with you there. I didn't care for that movie. So, okay, is it my turn? Because this has been bugging me too. Okay, so this is these movies eat at me too, and you guys probably know this because I talk about them all the time. Is the fucking Day of the Dead remakes, and it's not just the first one. And it's not just the second one, but it's the third one as well. All 3 attempts, and they've all fucking sucked. There was the 2005 Day of the Dead Contagion, and then there was the Day of the Dead, which was 2008, which is just as bad as the fucking 2005. And then the last one was called Bloodline. You and I watched.
Yeah.
It was probably the fucking worst one of the bunch because this one promised. You know, it was going to be made in the fucking tradition of the classic Romero film. Mm. So what do? Is they make the head zombie, Max, run. Like, how is that in any tradition of... So what, because you throw it in a fucking bunker like Day of the Dead was? It's like, it was horrible. It was fucking stupid. And I was so psyched for this movie, too. And I knew it was going to have problems because the first director, whose name I can't remember, but he quit. He up and quit the movie for whatever reason, so they brought this other bozo in, and it was fucking crap. And the bub character was his name was Max, and he had some fucking love interest. Like they turned it into warm bodies. Is pretty much what they did. I think that's
about the time that I fell asleep.
Yeah,
in defense of my
like
sanity.
Literally, there's a scene in this movie where this Max character, who's Bub. Runs in and hides behind a Jeep, and then he fucking straight a la House of the Dead, like super leaps into the fucking ventilation system. Like it's like I'm thinking, oh my god, you know what I mean? Like it's just fucking just stop making these movies because
the only way they could have made it worse was if Rick Grimes walked in then with a 357 Magnum.
God, yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. You know what I mean? Like I'll give the Dawn of the Dead remake, as much as I hated on it when it first came out. It's actually not that bad of a movie, and it's running zombies, and I know I ate my words here. But these 3 attempts at a good Day of the Dead remake have all been shit, and I wish they would just stop doing it, because I fucking hate them. So, anyways, that's my... Another one on the top of the list is the Day of the Dead remakes.
The Fog, 2005.
Listen, hang on, I'm going to cut you off here. We went to the movies to see this, and he fell asleep about 20 minutes into it, and I was like, you lucky bastard. I could not fall asleep in this movie. I wanted to, and there was no way I was waking him up because it was fucking horrible.
We were so fucking pumped up that he was going to revisit this movie.
Yeah.
And that really is the night that I realized that I had no fucking interest in remakes after that. Like, John, and it was by John Carpenter, or based on John Carpenter.
He produced it.
And I was like, are you fucking kidding me?
Yeah.
He absolutely took a classic fucking, like classic era ghost story and destroyed it. And it was like the ghosts were CGI. They were like, I kept thinking before I passed out in defense of my scruples that they look like the ghosts at Disney World when you go on the Haunted Mansion cruise and or the ride and you're going through and the ghosts are in the car with you. That's what they look like. Yep. And they're having a love story. He made a love story out of it. God. This guy is supposedly a horror master. So for the first 30 years or so of his life, he was technically a horror master. Yep. And he fucking did that. I couldn't believe it. I was so mad. That was when I just wanted to...
The Fog, the original Fog, is one of my favorite movies. And I thought about this on the way home today because I knew you were going to see it. So I purposely didn't say it because I knew how much you fucking hate that movie. And I'm surprised at myself that I didn't put it in my top favorite movies because it really is. So we're obviously going to have different parts of that. But, the one thing I hated about this remake the most and what made the classic so good is you only saw little glimpses of Blake.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Until the very end. And even then you didn't see him. It was just his ghostly figure and his red eyes. And then that was it. It was very quick. And it's kind of like Jaws, right? Less is better. You know what I mean? They're coming, but they don't really show it.
Practical effects.
Yeah, and they just hang on to the very, very... And this, like you said, they had a love story with Blake, and they showed him, and he looked like he was right out of, what's the Johnny Depp movies? Pirates of the Caribbean. It was fucking terrible. It was horrible. Shame on you, John Carpenter. Yeah, shame on you. And that's...
I think a callous fucking money grab.
And I think I have it written down.
Pay off his ex-wives.
Yeah, in our book to talk about is classic directors that are now become shitty. Like there's a handful of them that should have stopped long time ago. Like they're just trying to get money now.
Like this guy.
Oh, what's wrong?
Yep.
Did someone
Same.
have a nightmare?
Yeah. After we saw your third movie.
Yeah. So I mean I don't know. I lost a lot of respect there from that movie. He did it with another movie too. I can't remember what it was called now. He's done a couple remakes of his movies.
Checkbook, the movie.
Yeah, that's about it. Yeah. Well, you're gonna pay me how much to ruin my fucking? Yeah, I'll go for that. So I just okay. Anyways,
would you like me to play a 3-note piano spooky song?
Yeah,
like this one.
It's hard even to.
Oh, sorry.
It's hard even to talk about these movies because they just.
I know.
That's a shame.
The disappointment is.
We're ripping. This is like sarcastic. We're being sarcasm.
Well, but they deserve it because they're that fucking bad. So, Doctor.
I'll give my last one, and it'll be in a reboot or remake as well. There's so many to choose from, but I think the one that bothered me the most recently, that I actually went to the theater to see, as for any other means, was Evil Dead. I did not like the new Evil Dead. No. They just missed the mark for me 100%. It was like, here's
Yeah.
I didn't think there was anything new.
No, and they didn't improve upon anything, and they actually downgraded upon a lot of the stuff. I can once again I can appreciate what they were doing with it. They changed the thing. They had the father and daughter sort of thing, where the father has to do the thing with the daughter there, and all that stuff, which was. I didn't find that interesting. But everything that, you can't not have expectations when one of your favorite movies is being remade. And
yep.
I just think this one just missed the mark. Like, it could be, if you don't care about horror, you can sit through it and go, hey, yeah, it's all right. Mm-hmm. On a movie level, but when you brand it with something that has a certain power behind it, to people, then you've got to give it a little, know.
Well, I think for me, I think I said this in a couple episodes before, is there should be some sort of classic horror movie police. You know what I mean? Where you just
should be it.
Yeah, where you just can't touch the classics. Now again, I'm not trying to I like that movie. I thought it was going to hate it, and I didn't. The only thing I didn't like about it was the very, very ending. I thought that battle with the demon there by the car, it was just too long and it was fucking stupid. But I really liked the use of practical effects in that movie. In fact, I think the only thing that wasn't practical in it was the opening fire scene when the daughter catches on fire. But the splitting of the tongue and all the other shit, as far as a gore aspect, I thought it was really good. But I agree with you. Did it need to be remade? Absolutely not. So, But I didn't hate it, you know what I mean? But again, that's what we're doing here, right? So movies that I hate, you might like, and vice versa. And, you know, I just didn't like the ending. I thought the ending was way too long.
The difference in opinion is what makes things interesting.
Exactly. So, okay, I got a fucking list here, so I could go on all night. But so I gotta do two more, I guess, and they're both Stephen King movies. Is Stephen King, when his movies get put on the big screen, they're either going to be, there's no in between. They're either really fucking good, like The Green Mile and The Shining and The Shawshank Redemption and a few others that I can't remember, or they're so fucking horribly bad. And two of them are Skinwalkers and Graveyard Shift. Good fucking Christ. Like, I don't even know which one to talk about first.
You know what? I kind of like Graveyard Shift.
Really?
Yeah, I'll watch it when it's on.
the giant
God.
rat.
Yeah, I don't know why. I just, but it is so bad that you just gotta watch it.
Man, oh man, like that, I just can't, I don't know, man. I fucking hate that movie. And Sleepwalkers is so fucking stupid. It's about,
Is
it
that
has,
the cat one?
yes,
Catty people?
it has, well, they're not cats. They're shape-shifting vampires, which,
Stupid.
what a fucking cool idea. You know what I mean? Great idea, okay? Their only thing that they can't defend against is fucking cats.
Oh.
Are you fucking kidding me? A cat. That's their weakness, is fucking cats.
Cats are badass, man.
Oh, God. Anyways, yeah, so I had those are only a few, but I had to group those two together. So Graveyard Shift, and it's always on fucking TV. I don't know what it is. You know what it is? I'll tell you what it is. Yeah.
Yeah.
AMC has their horror movie marathon, and it's the same fucking horrible fucking crappy movies back to back every fucking year. They never change it. It's pathetic. I wish they should just stop it. And Graveyard Shift is always in there. Skinwalkers, or Sleepwalkers, you don't see very much, but Graveyard Shift is always fucking in that marathon, and it always seems to be whenever I turn the TV on. It's like they do it on purpose. It's like, oh, he's watching again. Yeah, put it on.
I can't believe that movie's from 1990.
Oh, fuck. Yeah. Yeah, and then Sleepwalkers is
seeing
92. But it's a shame, though, because, I mean, you've got movies like Creepshow and like all the other ones I listed off.
Misery?
Yeah.
Fantastic.
He's got so many good ones, but then he's just, some of the movies that when they go on the big screen, they're just,
You know what I do like
fucking
about
terrible.
Graveyard Shift is Brad Dourif as the exterminator guy.
Oh, yeah.
Running around. Brad Dourif has been like in so many horrible movies,
Oh,
but he
yeah.
has played Grima Wormtongue, and he was in like
Yeah.
stuff like that. But yeah, I don't know. So yeah, that's pretty funny.
All right.
Are we going?
I've got tons here, so
All right.
we're going to go into overtime here for a
So,
little bit.
all right. I'm gonna. Sorry, Carpenter, but you suck. After 2001, Ghost of Mars. I fucking hate that movie. I remember going to see it, and I was like, "Are you kidding me?"
Yeah.
Like Ice Cube and all these guys, and the fucking guy with the face
Yeah.
paint. And
Can't remember what his name is,
it was
but
fucking horrible.
I-
It was the beginning of the end for him.
yeah, that's what I was just going to say. That I think that was his the like his last movie before he really took a big downward
Yeah.
spiral. Like after that, because you know what it was, and I think this is again, I don't to get off topic here, but I think a lot of old school directors don't know how to use
CGI.
or even just new school technology.
Yeah,
Like there's a scene in Ghost of Mars, and I can still think of it clear as day, and it's been probably a good 10 years since I see. There's a scene where there's an explosion, and you can just tell with where the puff of smoke is that they're on one of them flip boards and it's so obvious and so fucking stupid. Like it's just like, come on, man. Like surely somebody, one of your producers or your assistant directors or even the fucking catering service would have said something to you about how obvious, and unless that's what he was going for. But yeah, that was
It was bad. It was supposed to be 2176 and everything.
Yeah.
It just looked fucking terrible.
I mean, I think that was one of Jason Statham's first movies, and Natasha Hendrich was in that movie too, and she's fucking hot. But even, and what's her name there? Foxy Brown. What's her?
Pam Grier.
Oh, she's fucking sexy. But even she couldn't save that film.
Well, I
That
mean,
a
she was
fucking
used to being
pile
in
of
B
shit.
movies anyway, so you know what I mean. So it wasn't a far stretch for her. But yeah, that one was just fucking horrible.
Ghost to Mars was on my skip list.
Yeah. Oh fuck. Yeah.
From the first time I saw like any ad for it, and I didn't even bother looking at reviews for it. I was just like, you know what, Ghost, Mars, sci-fi,
Terrible
horror.
movie.
Not gonna happen.
Terrible.
Terrible.
You're going to Skywalker Island if I can have anything to do with it, Carpenter. Stay there.
Oh.
That other guy, George Lucas.
No, fuck.
Oh,
Turkey
man.
neck. You got anything else?
Do I got?
Off the top of your head?
I have many more, but I'll let you. I'll defer.
I could be here all night. This is going to be like part 2, part 3. So I'm just going to do. Well, I got 2 more. No, I should only do 1. Fuck it, I'm going to do 2. Okay, so for me, okay, and these 2 are, first of all, okay, everything, all the Halloween movies after number 3. Okay, like I don't know what the fuck they're thinking. You've got The Curse of Mike Myers, The Resurrection of Mike Myers, H2O. Even Jamie Lee Curtis couldn't save that movie.
Yeah,
then you've got the Return. I don't even know. I don't know what is it? Chronological order? Is that what we're fucking talking about? Return of Mike Myers, and then we've got the Revenge of Mike Myers. I'm like, enough is enough. And you know what? The shame is the Revenge of Mike Myers. Is it the Revenge?
Should have left him on Saturday Night Live.
Yeah, but the sad thing, or wait, is it the Curse? The Curse of Mike Myers, I believe.
sure.
I could be wrong. Don't roast me if it's not. But The Curse of Mike Myers, I think, was the last one in '95. Yes, before Rob Zombie took over. And that was Donald Pleasant's last on-screen movie. But it was fucking terrible. And I can't remember what the little girl's name that's in this movie, but I hate her character. The way she screams and cries and screams again through all these fucking movies. And they tried to turn Michael Myers into Jason, and it was terrible. He's a human being, fucking slasher. He wasn't struck by, or was he? Maybe he was struck by lightning. I don't know. But I don't know which one was it where at the end of it he gets put in jail and then he gets busted out in the next one by the cult.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, come on. Like, it's so
he's put in jail.
Oh my god. So anyways, yeah, one and 2 I thought were really, really, well, obviously 1. It's like we're going to be talking about it next, right? But I mean, it's fucking fantastic. And I even like number 3. I had, it was something different. Those masks. Yes, it was.
One?
Yeah. Yes, it was cheesy and campy, but I thought it was fucking cool.
It's a good Halloween movie.
Yeah. So, but everything beyond that was just a fucking shit show. And, anyone involved in that should be ashamed of themselves. Like, my God. So, yeah, and then Rob Zombie came in, and the first one he did was awesome, but I think we can all be in agreement that the second one was terrible. Oh, that could be an episode on itself, just talking about those piles of shit. So, but yeah, sorry, I can ramble on all night about these movies.
Leprechaun.
Yeah. Oh fuck.
Don't even bother.
Yeah.
Don't even bother. I don't care. Unless you want to look at Jennifer Aniston before she had a nose job.
Yeah. And isn't there like 4 or 5 of them or something?
Yeah,
there was just one that came out last year. Like, how are they who's watching these fucking movies?
I don't know because I only made it like halfway through the first one or whatever before insanity took hold.
Yeah, like there has to be an audience. Do you know what I mean? Like, or else they wouldn't make them. But okay, do we need to wrap this up? What are we getting into? Okay, I gotta just say these ones quickly, or it's gonna bother me. And
Honorary mention.
And we'll definitely have. Oh yeah, we're at the 45-minute mark, and we'll definitely have like a part 2, and I'll address these even more. But this one it's near and dear to my heart because the Cenobites are such great characters. Like, could you Clive Barker, like, God bless you for making these awesome fucking characters, but goddamn the people who make these movies, because seriously, after the second Hellraiser, every single one of those movies are fucking terrible. Although I will give the latest one that was out, that just came out earlier this year, I can't remember what it's called, but it was actually pretty good. It kind of got back to its roots. It wasn't stupid, like it made sense, and it was gory, and Pinhead, even though it was a new guy, not Doug Bradley playing the character, but this newest guy, because the fat fuck that played the Pinhead in the second to last one was terrible, but this new guy, I can't remember what his name is, but he hit it pretty good. So, but all the rest of them were just what a way to ruin a franchise. But I was reading about it because I was thinking, why do they keep pumping out these shitty movies and putting stuff that would never go to the theater, like not even close? And it's because who the fuck owns the rights? I can't remember, but they don't want to lose the rights, and that's the same kind of trap that Fantastic Four fell into, because whatever studio owned the rights to the Fantastic Four had to put a movie out, and they did. That was the last one, which was a pile of shit. Or else they were going to lose the rights to it, and then it was going to get bought up by somebody else. And that's the same thing with the Hellraiser franchises. Every time the time or the it comes time for the rights, you either make a movie or you're going to lose it. Then they make a pile of shit, and that's what they've made like the last 2 or 3 for, is just to save, so they can save the Newmarker, I think, owns it, or somebody like that. But that's the reason why that's made, and it's a shame because they've taken awesome characters and just made them into stupid, horrible fucking movies. So, but anyways, okay, well, we should wrap it up because we're like well over 45 minutes. So, but I could talk about these for hours. So. We're gonna get in the Joe Rogan time here, 3-hour mark. So, anyways, I still have a list. I still have a list here of movies I can talk about because there's so many shitty horror movies. I haven't even touched on sci-fi really, so that's a whole new episode. Shitty sci-fi. God damn, we're gonna fucking go on forever. UFOs on strings and so, anyways, but okay. Well, anyways, let's wrap this up. So this is our part 1 of our worst horror movies, and there's a lot of them. So I'm sure we've touched on a few that you guys have thought are crappy and probably haven't even touched on anywhere close. You're probably thinking of 15 in your head right now. So leave your comments down below. Give us your list. Maybe leave it like a list of 5 or 10. You know what I mean? And
then we can cut up the movies that you really want to hear.
Yeah, because I don't think we have any problem ripping the shit. So, but yeah, I don't know. Let us know your comments below. What you think are your top 5 shitty movies, and I don't know, guys, you got anything else to say about this?
If you watch any of the movies that we've mentioned tonight, you will definitely stay scared.
Oh God, yeah.